All right, congratulations. So it is time to add the fuel to your machine, and that is data. All right, so this video training, I'm going to walk you step by step on how to prep your data in your list in order to upload so it uploads quick and it's correct so the machine works. All you want to do is just follow along with me step by step. Go ahead and click this top one, and it's going to open up Google Sheet. You're going to come over to File and then Make a Copy. And then you're going to rename this however you want to and put it where you want to keep it. Obviously, you can always come back and download the same sheet later if you need to. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what this sheet actually looks like right now and what we're about to do. So the whole purpose of this is just to fuel your marketing machine. All right, everything works very automated, which saves you a lot of time and a lot of money, and a lot of energy. However, there is a little bit of a learning curve. So, what I would ask you to do right now is just to think skill stacking. Right now, you're watching the video, you're only discovering what to do. Then you're going to go and do it on your own. However, you might hit a wall and you're going to get frustrated. When you do, it is okay. All you need to do is just come back to this training or reach out to us and we'll help you. All right, so let's get started. Now, you're going to follow these steps 1 through 7 here. It's not as complicated as it looks, but again, there's a learning curve. So whenever you pull the list, this is set up for kind skip tracing. The reason we use the kind skip tracing again is because of the properties owned by mailing address and the properties owned by name and all this other really powerful data points that they give you. So, you can go into Kind and pull a list and you're only pulling, let's say, probate list. Well, it's also going to tell you if it's absentee, if it's inherited, if it's deceased, if it's divorce, if it's early probate, foreclosure stage, vacant indicator, bankruptcy, matured first mortgage, matured second mortgage, financial distress, liens. You get my point, right? It's a lot of data. Now, you may not know this, so I want to make sure you understand the power of data. This is what they mean by the riches are in the niches. You can pull a list, and if you have no clue who you're contacting, you're just like blasting it out to everybody. And let's say you got a list of 10,000 records. Well, you're not going to get deals really quick. However, if you niche that same 10,000 records down and you group it into pain point stages like list stacking, you might have heard of this before, but they'll say, hey, are you financially distressed, and are you also experiencing bankruptcy, and is it also vacant, and is it also potential divorce? Like that's like a super stacked list. But if you focused out of 10,000 on a list stack like that, don't you think that you're going to be way more likely to actually get a deal quicker? Right? Because you only have a limited amount of time. Your team only has a limited amount of time. So since that is true, then let's make the best use out of that time by understanding how we can stack our data. And that's what this training is about how to get it up into the system. And then once it's up into the system, you're going to watch the next training, which is going to teach you how to create lists that shows you the stacked data that you have, even if this to find your buyers, right? So let's go ahead and get started. And once you look at this Google Sheet, what I like to do is add my actual list into Google. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. We're going to do File Upload, and I'm going to add the list to my Google Drive. This by far is going to be your easiest and smoothest because Google Sheet allows you to, it's just way user-friendly, more user-friendly than Excel. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, and what I'm going to do immediately, I'm going to click on this top header, and then I'm going to insert a row below. All right, did that rhyme? Insert a row below. All right, and then I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to look at my instructions, right? And my first one, it says add green columns to your list. So now we need to go and find and discover what is the green columns. Now I already know, but the green columns is phone type. And it's also this 4 right here, which is your skip trace date, where the list came from, where you skip trace the list from, and then your list stack, right? So we actually allow you to come in here and you can go ahead and keep track of this in your system. So, if this is an absentee owner, but then you also did low equity, like you can stack all of those. Now, for some reason, it's makes us I guess, save this. So if you have issues and you can't select multiple, just let us know. But you see the little check box right here when I edit that. All right, and then we're going to hit done. Hopefully, it actually saves it for you guys when you download this, but we tend to have some issues with it not remembering that one little step. So if that happens, you just let us know and we'll get that fixed. But again, you can check multiple, right? And then after you check multiple in Google Sheets, well, then you can download it as an Excel document, and it's going to separate it by commas really nicely. And then you're going to upload it straight, and you don't have to like do a lot of work with your data. Okay, so that's the power of this. Now, I'm going to clear all of this out. Now I'm going to add these green spots into my list. So I'm going to come all the way over here to the right, and I'm going to find the phone numbers, right? So depending on where you get your list from, again, this training is all about using the kind skip tracing because of the extra power they give us. But you can see it says mobile and landline, right? So I already know that I'm not going to use these two mobile. Like we're only going to do 5 mobile and 5 landline, 10 numbers, right? And we're going to start with, the first ones, right? Obviously, that's the ones that's most accurate. So, I'm not going to delete these because I don't want to do anything out of order. But what I am going to do is I'm going to add my green ones. So right here, I'm going to click on the landline 6 here. And then I'm going to add a column to the left. And not only am I going to add a column to the left, I'm going to add 5 columns to the left. And watch me have that number wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, spot on. All right, so 5 columns, added that. And then in between each one of these landlines, I'm going to add another column. So I'm just going to click on each phone and I'm going to add a column. Now, I am not going to add a column behind 1, and I'm going to click on 6 again. Okay, so because I'm going to delete 6 and 7, but I do need a column in front of 5. Hopefully you can see this and this makes sense to you. Okay. And again, after you do this once, it's going to make complete sense. I promise you. Even if you just watch this training all the way through the first time, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that's so easy. All right. And then we'll go back to our list. All right. I added all my green. Now, after you add the phone numbers, there is no more green, right? We're not adding anything else, as you can see. So now I'm going to go to step 2, and it says copy and paste header template. All right. Well, that's it. So what I want you to do, though, is make sure you grab the 2 lines, which is the reason I added that row at the bottom there, right? Because I don't want to overwrite my data. All right, so I'm just going to click on 1 right here, and then I'm going to hit Command V, and then it's going to paste it. And you see it automatically colors it and everything, right? Now, what you're going to want to do, though, is because this list that I'm actually using has no emails, right? So if you paid for a higher tier, either look for that template, or if that template doesn't exist, ask us to make one and we'll make that happen. However, I do want you to realize that, hey, this template doesn't work for every data provider. Okay. So if you're using another data provider, again, let us see like their list stack, and we'll create you a custom template. That way you can upload your data really quick. Now, once this is uploaded, everything's already ranked out. So now let's go look at our next step. It says delete red columns. Awesome. So we're going to come back over here and we're going to delete all the red columns. I don't even have to think about this. All right. Like you shouldn't have to think about this as long as you pulled this list from kind skip tracing and it doesn't have emails and everything matches up, right? All right. Boom. All right. And now what do I need to do now? Oops, I missed a step. Let me go ahead and delete these. And here's a little trick. If you don't know this, you can hit Command Shift and then right. I clicked on the column and then it's going to highlight all of it. And then I can just hit delete and it'll delete all the columns all at one time. All right. So now I need to sort the phone numbers here. Okay. So if you come back over here, it says delete the red columns, and then step 4 is add filter. So I need to add my filter. So I'm going to click on the little box up here, and then I'm going to come over here to create filter. And then you see it created the little tornado looking thingy right there, which is a filter. Right. And then we're going to go to step 5, filter phones up and add phone type for all 10 numbers. Now, this is a little tricky. We put drop down here because we don't want you to misspell mobile, because if you misspell it, then you're going to have issues when you upload your data. So make sure you spell mobile and landline correct. So what I would challenge you to do is just click on each one of these and hit copy, and then hit Command Shift down arrow. And then I'm going to hit Command V. Now, this is another benefit using Google Sheet. If you do this in Google Sheet will literally have 10,000 rows, and it will paste all 10,000 rows and fill them up with mobile. And now your data upload and everything is so much slower. And then at the end of all this, you got to come back and you got to delete all that out, because if you don't, then when you upload it, it's going to take more time to upload. So this is the most efficient way possible to do this. Okay. Anytime you get down here where you're like, oh man, I don't want to scroll all the way up because I've got a big list, then click somewhere where it's completely filled in the column, Command Shift up arrow, and it's going to take you to the top. Okay. So again, I'm going to copy my mobile, Command Shift down arrow, and paste. And for speed, I'm not going to do that anymore because it's already at the bottom. So now, since it's all the way down, I'm going to hit Command C again, and then Command Shift up. It took me to the top. I'm going to click here on this mobile, and now I'm going to just hit Command V. I'm going to click over here, Command V. See how quick this is? All right, super easy. All right, now I'm at landline. So now I got to copy, Command Shift down arrow, Command V to paste. And now once it's pasted, I'm going to hit Command C. All right, but I do have to get to the top of my columns again. All right, I'm going to click on landline, Command V to paste. And V, pasting, pasting, and then pasting. Okay. Now I'm just going to continue right here, skip trace. Now what you want to do is you want to type in today's date. So I'm going to type in 10/16-2024. And then list came from. All right, this list came from Con skip tracing. Skip traced from. So that's skip trace not only pulled the data, but they also gave us the phone numbers, right? There is a difference. Like, you can go to like places like ListSource and they will, only give you the data. And then you can go to other places that'll give you the phone numbers too. But you want to track that because, over time, data is expensive and you want to know who's giving you the best data and what's your results, right? Here's the list stack. So what is this list stack, right? This is what we've got is mortgage, low interest rate, right? So this is what the client requested for us to do. So I'm only going to put low interest rate, right? That's all I'm going to do. And now I'm going to copy or like highlight those 4. I'm going to hit Command C, Command Shift down arrow, then Command V. And now I pasted them all in. And now each contact is going to be labeled like that, right? Do you see how I did that? Now I do want to come back up and I want to delete that extra row. As long as I don't get in trouble and like misspell something. Now, if you try to do the Command Shift and something's in the way right there, it's going to stop and it's so annoying. All right. So now I'm going to delete the second column there. Delete row. All right. And if we wanted to, we can always filter our phone numbers up, right? So I will show you this, but like we don't really have to. So I can hit sort A to Z here, and then it's going to pull all my phone numbers up to the top. And then if I went to the bottom, I can actually see where I'm missing my phone numbers at, and I could even clean it up even more and hit Command Shift down arrow and delete the mobile right there. That way the system doesn't upload it, right? And I want you to notice something. You see this big gap right here of mobile, but then over here is filled up with landlines. And also there's mobile right here too. However, if you if you come over and you filter all of this, you don't have to do this, by the way. I'm just showing you like how to look at your data. So I'm going to go and filter every phone number all the way to 5 so you can see it. All right. So now you can see the staggered, right? You see the stagger, right? So now we're phone 2 and then phone 1, right? You see that? So phone 5, not that many numbers, but then here's phone 6, which is our first landline. Again, we're going to have people or contacts with landlines that don't have mobiles, and maybe those are companies or yeah, most likely companies, but or somebody who doesn't have a cell phone. But that's besides the point. Don't think too much about this. I'm just trying to like arm you with what you're looking at on your data. All right, so now we come back to our checklist here, and it says follow the loom to upload the data. So let's go and watch that loom and upload this data, and we're good to go.